Hi everyone. I'm here today with Jane and Pat Bryan. Now, Jane is an award-winning therapist and trainer of aesthetics, beauty and massage. She ran a very successful hypnotherapy clinic in the UK, and her husband Pat is a male grooming expert and a masseur with 30 years experience. But they weren't really settled in the UK, or didn't necessarily want to stay in the UK. They longed for a bit of sunshine, and they dreamt of moving to Spain and finding their ideal setting for a retreat centre and also their training academy. So early 2020, they bought and renovated Casa Torreta Blanca, a beautiful Spanish-style farmhouse in the sleepy mountain village of Partaloa in Almeria in southern Spain. Now, my husband and I took a visit there very recently, and we agree that there are spectacular views of the surrounding countryside, a wonderful jacuzzi, pool, and lots of outside space, perfect for our writing retreats. So this is where we're going to be in April 2023, and I wanted to get on a call today with Jane and Pat to find out more about their dream, why they actually moved to Spain, and also to answer any practical questions that you might have about attending a retreat with us. So welcome Jane, welcome Pat.
Hi.
Hello, thanks for having us on the call.
Brilliant. So I'd like to start with the dream. What prompted you to go to Spain, apart from obviously the beautiful weather, gorgeous scenery? Why Spain?
Over to you, Pat.
I think, firstly, yes, the wonderful weather and the beautiful scenery. But also, I think we had always had a dream of doing something bigger than we did in the UK at that present time. But, you know, the prices over here make it achievable, whereas to buy a house like we've managed to buy over here in the UK would have been beyond our wildest dreams. But here we managed to find the perfect place that will help us to move on to the next stage of our careers.
Yes, yeah. And I also suffer from depression and seasonal affective disorder. So I always have a bit of a dip this time of year. And obviously in the beautiful Spanish sunshine, even in the winter months, that doesn't happen. So that was the added bonus really of moving.
Yeah.
So tell us about Casa Torreta Blanca. What made that be? What was it about the property that made you go, wow, I need to buy this?
I was going to talk about this one. We're very quick decision makers, very, very quick decision makers. So when we realised that if I cashed in all my corporate pensions and Pat cashed in his pension, actually we could afford something. We didn't quite know what we could afford. So we had an idea in our head what we wanted, and we came up for our first recce mid-September.
Yeah,
we looked at like 4 or 5 properties. None of them made my heart go wow. And I kept saying to people, the Spanish estate agents, I need curb appeal, but they didn't understand what I meant. Yeah. And we came over, we almost bought a house, didn't we? And then we looked at the, it was a complete doer-upper. So it had a beautiful house and then 2 derelict houses next door. But we were going for it because it was a lovely village. And then we looked at what the weather was like in the winter. Yeah, that weren't happening. Snow. So we put the halt on that. But then we thought, well, we already bought, because we bought the tickets to go and buy the house. We thought, well, we may as well come back out. So we came out for our second recce, Pat's birthday, his 60th, I do believe. And we saw this place on the Saturday. And as we come down, drove along the mountain and come off the mountain down the sort of the, call it the driveway, there it was. It had curb appeal. When we came inside, it wasn't my cup of tea, to be frank. But obviously we have made it what we made it. So we went back to Alicante, we put the offer in for the house. We got it they agreed our terms on the Monday. We flew back on the Friday and bought it. And then moved in 6 weeks later?
January the 2nd, 2020. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
For me, it was very easy.
So January 2nd, 2020, yeah.
Yeah. I think from the moment I saw the estate agent's pictures, and particularly one picture of the courtyard, I was sold on the place. I mean, Jane was a bit of a harder sell than that. But it was just the perfect place for what we wanted to do. And they always had a picture paints are always worth 1,000 words, don't they? And I think when people see an image of our place on the internet, they've already become a long way convinced to come and do this, I hope.
Yeah.
So you've obviously done a lot of work to the property since then. I know we've had, obviously, the pandemic's happened, so I know you weren't expecting, none of us were expecting that. So what work have you done on the property to make it a retreat? Obviously it's ready to go now as a retreat centre, isn't it?
Yeah, so when I go somewhere, I know what I like, and I wanted to create that here. So the bathrooms, let's just put it that way, weren't very nice. So we gutted every single bathroom, and then we created more bathrooms. So we actually lost some rooms, but my vision was I wanted the bathrooms. So we gutted all the bathrooms, built new bathrooms. We built a new bedroom upstairs. We gutted the kitchen.
Yeah.
We got the jacuzzi in. We gutted the courtyard. Retiled the pool. We created 2 more bedrooms in the other side of the courtyard. We've done a lot of work on the land, still loads more to do because we've got such a big area. What else have we done?
We've got railings around the top
railings,
terrace,
oh god,
which,
yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe how we ever ran it as a B&B with no railings at the top.
No railings on that.
Spain can be quite particular with things like that, can't they, from my recollection from being in different parts of Spain.
Yeah.
And I think, from my point of view, slapped acres and acres of white paint on acres and acres of walls.
And you see the fire behind us. When everyone said to me, what do you miss about England? I said, it was the ability to put heat on. Because obviously we have big roaring log fires, etc. But it takes a lot to heat this house. So this year we decided to invest in the pellet burner, which is behind us. And it throws out a lot of heat. So we've now got central heating.
Yeah,
in the room.
It's got a back boiler, so it heats 5 of the bedrooms and also the main sitting room as well.
Brilliant. Okay.
And we don't have winter's not that long, but when you get used to the heat and then you go into the cold, it's even more colder for someone.
So obviously you've got a programme of different types of retreats, and if anyone's interested in finding out about any of the other retreats, the link is just below. But what sort of experience are you looking to create for guests when they come and stay at Casa Torreta Blanca?
I think personally, between the pair of us, we've both been involved in sort of customer hospitality for most of our working lives. Although a lot of people wouldn't say bus driving was particularly customer focused.
Not with you.
But that gave us a great idea of what we wanted to give our guests, that guest experience. And I think also from travelling and doing lots of retreats ourselves as guests, we had a good idea of perhaps sometimes it's more of what we didn't want than what we did want, but by a process of elimination that led us to what we've got now, which is a very relaxed, informal, hopefully friendly, home from home type of vibe going on here. We always say to people who are coming like yourself to run retreats that you're not just hiring the property, you're hiring us as well for whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But we're not aloof. We interact with people and try to make everyone as comfortable as possible during their time here.
And we always say to everybody when they arrive, this is your home from home. And the first day, it's like, there's the fridge, help yourself to whatever you want. First day, night, first day, they're all a little bit, not too sure. By the time, second day comes, they're helping themselves to everything. That's what we want. We want people to feel relaxed enough to just grab whatever they want rather than wait for us to be around. I mean, one of us is always around, but it's not like, you have to wait for one of us and can I please have? You can just help yourself to whatever you want. And we want people, even if they're coming on, we're co-hosting a retreat such as we are with you, we want them to come along and not only get the benefit of what you're teaching, what you're coaching, but also we want them to feel relaxed and renewed and rested. And I can't think of one person that has been here that hasn't walked away with an epiphany or two, which has actually reshaped their direction in life. So that has been amazing to see.
As you know, it's our 8th retreat that we're, and obviously, you know, I've known you, Jane, for a while through Tracy, and you know, one of the things we're looking for is the whole experience, because we know that, Pat, you'll pick us up from the airport, so people don't have to worry about getting themselves to the property, because about 2 hours from Alicante, which is where we're travelling to. You've got exclusive access to the retreat space, so as you say, you know, all the space, the outside space, which I want to go and talk about in a second. The food dietary requirements of when we came, my husband and I came to join you, we're both vegetarian, and so it's a great experiment, wasn't it, Pat, to cater for us and our different needs as well.
Yes.
So I think that's part of it, isn't it? I think anything goes, isn't it, really?
There's always a base menu there, but we tailor it to what people need. Obviously.
Yeah. So one of the questions I think a lot of people will be, certainly from my point of view, going on a retreat, is that everyone gets their own room, everyone gets their own bathroom, as you mentioned. That was one of the things that's important to you. And of course, pool, jacuzzi, spa, all of that's important. So let me focus on the spa, actually, because obviously one of your USPs is the fact that you've got the spa. You can do treatments. We're including a 30-minute treatment as part of the Writing Retreat package, because we know that people need to rest, they need to recuperate, and actually having a massage or facial or something else is going to help rejuvenate them. What spa treatments can people book if they want to have some treatments with you guys?
Okay, so we're looking at the 30-minute that's included in the retreat price. We could do like a relaxing facial. We could do a bit of I wouldn't do a full-on chemical peel, but a deep exfoliation treatment. We can do head massage.
Indian head massage, a nice back massage.
Shaving for the men, male, because obviously does the male grooming. Facial reflexology, crystal healing. I can do rose quartz facial massage, and obviously they can then upgrade that for an hour's treatment, and then the world's their oyster in terms of they can have anything on the treatment menu then. So I specialise in skin. That is what I specialised in the UK. So I do lots of relaxing facials, but as well, I also do clinical facials as well, using my vast array of machines. And Pat keeps saying to me, "You're not getting any more machines." A new one's creeps in every now and then.
And I provide sort of the more remedial deep tissue massage side of things, so for any aches and pains that people have when they arrive.
We experienced that when we came over to stay with you as well, because it's I think, you know, I know that a lot of people are interested in the spa treatments because you're selling it, you're justifying it to your partner, to your accountant, to your family, that it's a writing retreat, but actually that very act of actually going away, it's not just about the writing, it's not just about the words that come out of your head, the words that get written, you know, the manuscript that gets created. It's also about that retreating and actually having that time to rest and, you know, recuperate as well, because we have such busy lives. And for me, that's part of the experience, is making sure people have that and have the ability to rest as well.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah. So outside space is one of the other reasons for choosing your lovely place. I did some videos that I was putting together a few weeks ago of different places you could. So tell us about the outside space, because the video kind of showed some of the outside spaces, but I know, well, there's loads of it, isn't there?
Yes. So we have, I suppose, the main communal areas. So we've got the big covered terrace, which has got the pot-bellied stove and a big dining area there,
and the 3-piece suite.
Yes, a great place for people to gather. Also down by the pool bar, there's a big sort of classroom dining area there, and the same on the upper terrace as well. But I think no matter how well you get on with your fellow guests, it's also important to have places where you can go and get away from them and just be alone, particularly if you're following a creative process as well. So we have the little Moroccan seating area, as we call it, in the courtyard, where we spied you a few times, Karen, as well, enjoying a little bit of solitude there. There's what other places? Oh, up on the top terrace, there's
different
a nice little seating area under the shade of the pine tree, and there's some areas under the palm trees just outside, well, between the house and the pool bar.
There's a big sofa area that just looks outside to all the Almerian mountains.
Yeah, and we've got a few plans to install a few more little nooks
and crannies for people.
There's loads of nooks and crannies. We'll get lost.
So that as people wander around the grounds, they can just come across little places where they can sit and rest for a little bit.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's having the space to write. So yes, the communal areas are great, because one of the things we like to do is get everyone set up for the day. So normally the way we tend to run the retreats is we'll do a walk first thing, we'll have breakfast, and then we want to make sure that we're giving people what they need from the day. So we call it setting them up for success. So it's finding out what people would like to have happen, what coaching support they might need as they go through the day. So it's lovely to have that communal space, but actually people want to find a space they can go and they can be by themselves. They can have access to the Wi-Fi, they can have access to using their computer, or even just a notebook by the pool, or even laying in a sunbed by the pool dictating their book. That's a great I've seen that happen before.
Right, yeah, doing it.
That's a way to do it. That really is a way to do it. And I think the thing is, I think so many people feel like they need to be shackled to a desk when they're writing, and absolutely they can use a table, plenty of table space, but actually the act of picking up a pen and paper or dictating something or going for a walk is equally as valuable, because things happen, they come to our brains when we're not necessarily forcing it. So having that downtime just to focus is invaluable in my view.
Yeah.
So one of the things we're doing slightly differently with this retreat, which is why we normally do a 5-night retreat and this one's a 7-night retreat, is you're going to be organising all sorts of other things for us. So we've looked at yoga, meditation, a day out in the local area, which I think is really great and recharging, tapas evening, pizza night, which we did when we stayed with you, outdoor cinema experience, walks. God, where do I start with all of that? Tell us about the local area, because I think that's important. We're only going to do one day out. Obviously it would be great if we could spend the whole week going out, but that would defeat the whole object of the writing retreat. So tell us about the local area and what it's known for and where we can go.
We are known for obviously olives, and we're known for almonds. That is what the area produces. One of your walks, you might want to go into Partolo, which is beautiful village. Whitewashed.
Yeah, a little sleepy whitewashed village.
We brought the average age of the village down quite considerably when we came here. And then the sort of next nearest town is Olbox, which is unusual. Well, when we first went, we didn't really think there was much there. But I mean, when you start walking through all the beautiful cobbled streets and the bars that are there, and then a bit further afield, or Lula de Rio, that's beautiful as well. Very nice night out, vibey. And then further afield, one of the days that we took you up to Majaca Pueblo, which is up at the top of the hill. Beautiful whitewashed town.
Yeah, very historic town as well.
Very lovely.
With you, because there's lots of lovely shops. And then spend the morning there, and then come down a lovely church. I always go to the church, light candles and cry. And then take you back down to the beach. So you can either sunbathe on the beach, not what I do, or you can stroll along the beach. That's one of the options. Another one I'll let Pat tell you about.
Yes, we are overlooked here by the Sierra de los Filabres mountains, which contain the 2 highest peaks in Almeria province. And we did this just recently, actually, after you had left us, Karen. Drove up there, and there's a lovely village called Bacares, which is, again, a very sleepy little village set on the side of a mountain. And it's a great place to while away.
It's got
an hour or two.
Castle, it's got waterfalls.
Every little town's got a castle.
No, it is. I love that one.
Yeah, and from there...
Again, we brought the average age of that village down as well when we
and from there you could drive up to Cala Alto, which is it's actually the European Union Space Observatory, and you can see 3 of the domed telescopes from our house. And we thought that was it, but we go up there and there's about 7 or 8 of them, isn't there? Of various
more than that thing, tiny little one.
So that's a nice little excursion just to see that. And from there, if people want to, we can go up to the second highest peak, which is Terreta, which is a great place to have a stroll around, and the views from there are breathtaking. So I think that is things that we can discuss when you arrival before to see which one suits you best. It is, I think that depends maybe a little bit on what the weather's doing.
Yeah.
Because I know they've had the first snow up in Cala Alto already.
Only a dribble, not a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, you're feeling the snow sticks, and you're thinking, "Oh my god!"
Obviously, we're coming towards the end of April. What's the weather like in April? Nice, I'm assuming. Much nicer than the UK.
Yes, I mean, it is still springtime here, so it is showery like in the UK, April showers. But I mean, the average temperature during April is into the 20 degrees,
20s,
plenty of sunshine. We do live in a little weather bubble where we are sort of perched on the side of the Rambler here, and even when it's wet and stormy all around us, we still seem to have a little bit of blue sky and a little shaft of sunshine coming down on us. So I think changeable sums it up, but it always seems to err on the side of nice rather than miserable.
And if you're lucky enough to experience a thunderstorm, it's just stunning, isn't it?
Well, that's going to put something.
Well, no, it normally comes in the night.
A thunderstorm's lovely though, because I think it's a change of air and the change of energy. Certainly, in the location we used to run the retreats, we've had thunderstorms there as well, and it's just, I don't know, I love thunderstorms, spectacular.
Yeah, no, we do as well.
And it just goes all around, avoids us, just goes all around the mountains around us. So we just sit there underneath the terrace, obviously, going, "Oh my god, this is amazing." Yeah.
Talking of the night sky, another thing that we do here is stargazing, because obviously we're in a very dark piece of the world if the EU wants to build their space observatory here. So that's a great thing to do, isn't it, on clear nights? Just we've got lots of inflatable beds that we put up on the terrace. People can go there and lose themselves in the stars. And if people are really lucky, Jane can do a guided meditation, a candlelit guided meditation. And then we blow the candles out and people can just enjoy the starscape up there.
Oh, sounds like bliss.
It is.
Well, I know meditation and also yoga is something that we've talked about. And in the evenings we can do the pizza night, which we did with you guys, where we basically... I did a video, so I have to reshare the video now with the kind of the speeded up, the time-lapse video, because that's amazing in terms of, you create the dough and all the toppings, and we create our own pizza. Spoiler alert, I like pineapple on my pizza. So obviously that we can do this outdoor cinema night as well, which is brilliant, because you're in such a dark area.
Yeah. So Pat and I are the usher and usherette with the popcorn and the ice cream.
And we do normally have the film chosen by the guests, but I do warn people, if they can't make up their mind on their own, I will choose the film.
It'll be a zombie.
Either a die-hard film.
Actually, the last retreat, not the one that you came to, the one before that, they chose this film randomly, never heard of. They'd never heard of it. And I don't really laugh at a lot of films, so I was rolled up. Can't remember what film it was, but it was really good.
I can't remember what it's called. No, it's really funny.
Brilliant. So thank you so much for coming on and just talking about the retreat, why you move out there, and also the experience you're creating. Because as I said, it's not just about the writing, and I'll just pop the link to the writing retreat just so people can find out more. If you are interested about the writing retreat, that's the details. Go and have a look, and please feel free to have a conversation with me if you're interested in coming along. But yeah, also check out the other retreats that Pat and Jane have got coming up in 2023 and beyond as well. Because I know obviously you're doing a lot of training. You've got Reiki, you've got Angel Reiki, and all sorts of other things. Relaxation, dry January, all sorts of things you've got coming up next year. So there's some amazing stuff coming up. Have you got any other final things that you'd like to say, Jane, Pat, to talk about the beautiful retreat space you've created?
Well, we're looking obviously forward to welcoming you and your retreatees here.
I think we invented that word.
Retreatees.
Retreaters didn't sound right, actually, did it? No, retreatees.
Yeah.
I like that. Good term.
Yeah, I think that's quite a nice word. But no, I think we are quietly satisfied with what we've created here, actually.
Quietly satisfied? Is that all? Just satisfied or more than satisfied?
Just quietly satisfied, okay.
But I think it's just And I think the itinerary we've planned for next year so far is really good as well.
Yeah.
So
And we're even looking for 2024. We just had a booking for 6 retreats, co-hosted retreats for 2024. We're like,
Oh, do I need to get the dates in quickly then for our next retreat then?
quickly, yeah, they're grabbing quite a few first quarter dates, aren't they? And third quarter dates.
yeah, spring and autumn.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind. So yeah, for me, as I said, the writing retreat is all about the experience. It's the writing, it's getting some really good quality time to actually get words down on paper, but it's also the retreating, and we're a better place to hold it. So thank you, and thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you again in April.
Yes, we can't wait, Karen.